As Coach Wernicki, how are we doing today, sir?
Good. How you doing?
Doing real well. Excited to have you on and excited to be able to talk Struthers Wildcats boys basketball with you. And just talking a little bit about that, we mentioned 3-1 to start. Ever since that Mooney game, it seems like you guys are getting on the right track and you guys have figured it out. Just talk to me a little bit about the talks of you've had with this team going into this season, and what do you kind of point this early season success to?
Well, I mean, we do have a decent amount of carryover from last year. Now, it's not on the floor carryover, meaning I don't have a lot of guys with game experience other than Ronnie Leonard and Sal Schaefer. I don't have another guy in the program that had played one varsity minute up until this year. But all of the other kids, the way our numbers are structured here at Struthers, we don't have a lot of numbers or a lot of depth. So we've got about 16 kids annually, 9 through 12. So everybody practices together. So it's not like these kids, this was their first experience with me or with varsity. These guys have been in the program in some capacity now for a couple of years, even though they are younger. So that's kind of helped build a little bit where we're going. Even though there's a lot of teaching, there is a lot of carryover. And as we've gotten more and more game experience, I think my younger guys are starting to figure it out a little bit, and they're starting to play a lot better. And we had kind of gotten on a little roll. The three conference games in a row. We were Friday, Tuesday, Friday, and we were supposed to play the Tuesday before Christmas. And unfortunately, Hudson had to cancel because of COVID. And then we were supposed to play today, actually, at Lakeside, and they had canceled before Christmas. So we kind of lost a little bit of our momentum as far as where we were headed game-wise. But we're excited to get back on the floor tomorrow. It's been, we've had about 8 or 9 practices now since our last game. And this time of the year, that kind of gets tough. But my group has been pretty resilient, and we're looking forward to what's ahead.
And looking at this matchup tomorrow, I mean, I previewed it a little bit, but I want to get it from your perspective as well. This is a Liberty team now coming off of a win on Ursuline, and they're generating some momentum as well. And these two seem like two trains on a track ready to collide right now. What is it going to take for you to come away with a victory against this Liberty team? And what have you seen from them that you're looking to try to slow down, or that you're kind of circling as far as the game plan is concerned?
Well, I mean, as far as Liberty goes, for us to get a win tomorrow, it is going to take our absolute best effort, physically as well as mentally, that we've had this year thus far. This might be one of the better teams that we play all year. They're very physical, very athletic. They're very well coached. They do a lot of things that will cause us some problems as far as their athleticism, their pressure, how hard they push it. And then they have, I haven't seen every team around here, but James Davis is about as good of an offensive player as I've seen since I've been at the high school level in the area. There's not many guys with his size, his range, his ability to break you down defensively, get to the rim and play in the full court. James is about as good as I've seen since I've been at the high school level. So for us, we're going to have an unbelievable effort on the glass. We're going to have to limit as much transition baskets on their part as we can, and we're going to have to take care of the basketball. If we turn it over and allow them to get into transition, it'll be a long night for us. It'll be very difficult for us to get out of here with a win.
Looking at that too, and right after that game, I mean, you get a little bit of rest in between, but going into the new year, it's conference play, and it opens up pretty strong for you guys as well. And just talking about this NE8 conference, I feel like everyone kind of thought it was wide open, and it is in some aspects too, but certainly you guys are as a strong team this year, like you were last year. Maybe not different team, obviously. We know no team is the same, but just talking about competing inside this NE8, just looking at it, what is it going to take for you to get a piece of that crown? And just looking at the NE8 schedule, how are these games going to shape up, you think, going into the season?
Well, honestly, the COVID has changed a lot of things. Like right now, Jefferson is on a pause, and we're going to end up being their next opponent on January 7th. So they went on pause yesterday. They were supposed to play in a tournament yesterday and today, and that's out. And then they were supposed to play at home against Niles on Tuesday, and that'll be out. But, I mean, I would say right now, to me, Jefferson is the front runner in our league. They've got the most experience back. They've got, his kids have been playing together for a while. They play up and down a little bit. They've had some good wins already in the league and out of the league. But as far as the NE8 goes, I mean, I'll be honest with you. We're competing against ourselves every day just to try to get better. If I try to look at the rest of the teams in our league and compare ourselves, there's, Girard is an excellent team. Obviously, Poland is really good. That was a tremendous win for us. And they're only going to get better as they get healthier. I mean, they had a great win last night against Boardman on the road, which is never easy. I mean, Boardman is one of the standard programs in our area. So that was a great win for them. South Range playing Springfield to triple overtime. I mean, that group is coming along as they start to mature a little bit. And then, obviously I think we're good, but we got a long way to go. And I'm just trying to get this group focused on each game as it comes. We're not good enough to sit here and say, oh, we got to do this or that with we got to win this game at home or whatever. We got to do the best that we can each day. We're not good enough to look ahead. And if we do, then we'll find ourselves in third or fourth place really quickly.
And I mean, obviously, looking at this team and just looking at the schedule, we know it's going to be competitive. It seems like every single night for you guys. Looking at your kind of coaching philosophy and coaching scheme, I'm curious too, because I've asked other coaches this throughout the show as well. Is there anyone, NBA, college, even high school level, that you kind of take philosophies from, schemes from, that you try to implement in your own personal coaching philosophy and scheme?
I'll take whatever I can from whoever I can. I do watch a lot more of the NBA game than maybe some people do. The one thing I found is what you see in the NBA today is about 2 or 3 years ahead of what you see at the college level. Those things take a little bit of time to matriculate. And a lot of the things that you're watching now with what Golden State does or what Toronto does or some of the other teams, even what Cleveland's doing, you'll start to see some of that manifest itself at the college level, in about 2 or 3 years. Now, there's not a lot of things that translate directly from the NBA or college to the high school level because it's such a different game. I mean, the thing about basketball that separates it from baseball and football, I mean, baseball is baseball. No matter what level you play at, the only thing that changes basically is the distance of the mound and the distance of the outfield fences. Basketball is so different in that every level that you play, the rules are different, the courts are different, the 3-point lines are different, the clocks are different, and it's so a lot of things that those other guys do, they're doing specifically for their rules, and a lot of it doesn't apply to the college level. But to answer your question, I mean, you want specifics. I mean, I try to watch some of the lower level college teams, maybe like this year. As an example, Colgate goes to Syracuse and beats Syracuse by like 25, and they're running kind of like a 5-out motion type deal, but with some Princeton aspects to it. So, like, I'll watch those games to see what those guys are doing because that's a little bit more relatable to our level. When you watch Duke and Gonzaga, the level of talent that they have allows them to give those kids so much more freedom in the game. That game resembles the NBA a lot more than ours does. So you have to kind of watch some of the other teams. The Ivy League and the Patriot League are great levels to watch if you're trying to get schematic things because they have to be able to execute offense and defense, and they have to be able to do different things to compete. With the academics, they don't have the same type of time restraint or freedom with time, and they also don't have the same athletes. So there's a lot more coaching as far as direct schemes and sets and stuff at that level than other levels. But I'll be honest with you, every single time I go scout a high school game, if I see something I like, I'm going to take it. And I'm always impressed with, doesn't matter what game I watch, I always look at these other coaches and say, man, why aren't I doing that? Or how did they get their kids to play that hard or that well? So, I mean, if you open your eyes, there's learning experiences every time you step in the gym.
Add another one to the Rolodex, right? And just looking at that though, and just looking at the team overall, and you talk about the implementation of multiple schemes and schemes from all over. What challenges does it present though when an athlete does want to continue on to the college level, being that ambassador for them going into that next level with rule changes and everything? How do you kind of get them prepared for that next level while still playing at this level?
Well, I mean, for the guys that I've had that actually, have the ability to possibly play at the next level. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I grew up in the college game. I spent 25 years as a college assistant, and so my practices resemble everything that I've done at the college level in practice. I mean, that's what I learned. That's how I learned to coach. That's how I learned to practice. So a lot of the things that we do are helping these guys prepare because we practice that way. And I understand what college coaches are looking for, and I'm able to convey some of that, to my kids and practice and say, look, when we're doing drills or when you're here early before practice or staying late after, these are the things you should be working on, focusing on, even if it doesn't necessarily directly translate at times to what we're doing. I think that's what I've been able to do with some of my kids. But there's so many good players here in the area that don't get that opportunity just because it's not a heavily recruited area. And that's one of the things that we're trying to change as far as some of the things we've done in the fall to try to get some college coaches' eyes on the kids in the area. But to answer your question, I mean, the things that I do in practice, I try to teach these kids that this is how you need to practice, and this is the level you need to practice at every day, because if a college coach walks in, this is what they're going to look for.
Coach, I can guarantee you we're all going to be looking at the game going on tomorrow, too, and seeing how all those strategies are implemented against Liberty. December 30th, going to be on the network, too, so you could catch Coach Wernicki and the Wildcats as they take on the Leopards. Thank you so much for joining me here, though, today, Coach, and giving us a preview of this game and giving us a little bit of early season recap of what the team's doing right now. We always appreciate your time, and I'm sure we're going to be talking to you again real soon.
Oh, anything that you guys need. And, tomorrow the casual fan will enjoy this game. I mean, they're starting to establish themselves as one of the premier or top of the, top level teams in our area. They've played a great schedule. Archbishop Hoban on the road. They've already played Harding. Obviously last night I was at the game. That was a high level game with Ursuline, and it was very competitive. And that was probably in the early part of their season, a signature win for them. I know that's a pretty good rivalry. And like I said, if we're not playing at our best, then I don't know that we can play with Liberty right now. They're playing that well, and they're on a pretty good run. So, but we're excited about the opportunity to compete, and hopefully we have a good crowd, and it'll be definitely a fun atmosphere. So.
If you can't make it out to this game, you know right where to find it on our network too. Pack those stands, and if you can't make it, pack the views, because this is going to certainly be a fun one going on tomorrow night. Struthers and Liberty, Coach Wernicki and the Wildcats taking on the Leopards. See him there tomorrow. Thank you again so much, Coach.
Thank you, and Happy New Year, and we appreciate everything that you guys do, and Happy New Year to everyone out there, and please stay safe, and we'll see you down the road.
Yep, we'll be seeing you too. Happy New Year to you as well, and you guys stay safe as well. We'll be talking to you, Coach.
Great, thank you.